I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love.
God, this is so tough. Whoever came up with this title, give this guy a freaking raise. Tell me how this is not awesome. Astronaut. Astronaut.
Katy Perry was quoted as saying, "We're putting the ass in astronauts." Okay, all right. You go, girl. This is so...
This is why she needs empowering, because she keeps revealing her stupidity like that, and we have to boost her back up.
How much do we not want this rocket to return to Earth?
Hollywood has always had a special gift for turning personal passion projects into larger-than-life stories. Over the years, they've made even the smallest adventures seem like world-changing events. But even the most hardened gossip writers were left speechless when a pop star, who's usually seen topping the music charts, decided to strap herself into a billionaire's private rocket for a quick trip above the clouds. She returned claiming she had just changed the course of space history forever. Imagine it. A short flight barely lasting longer than it takes to heat up a frozen burrito. Yet, it was treated like a world-shaking moment.
And real astronauts are extremely intelligent scientists who've been tested to the limits of their physical and mental fitness. But this was really not women in space, it was stupid people in space. This was the lowest IQ space crew that has ever been launched from Earth.
Out came the red carpet, the booming Gladiator soundtrack, and a press release so sugary it could have given a Hallmark card a sugar coma. There was Katy Perry, smiling brightly, while holding a daisy like it was a gift from the gods. She knelt in the dusty fields of West Texas, declaring herself spiritually connected to the universe. Within minutes, the internet exploded with memes, most of them poking fun by comparing her landing to cheap airline disasters, complete with circus music soundtracks.
Right, it's so amazing. Like, they went to see space. We're supposed to see them, right? Like, they admired the universe, and what they were expecting was for us to admire the fact that they were rich enough and famous enough to have been granted this utterly, utterly vacuous experience from which they learned absolutely nothing.
Meanwhile, somewhere inside a random NASA break room, actual astronauts tried not to choke on their instant coffee. After all, nothing quite says scientific achievement like calling an 11-minute joyride the next giant leap for mankind. The chaos could have ended there, but things got worse when the Federal Aviation Administration stepped in to clear things up. They politely announced that no, celebrity passengers on Blue Origin flights would not officially earn astronaut wings. They were simply tourists, high-paying ones at that. That's when the internet raised one collective eyebrow and mumbled, "Participation trophies? But make it space." At first, Katy's "I found myself among the stars" publicity tour was planned to glide smoothly.
However, there's been some critics saying some stuff in it.
Really?
Rob, I don't know if you have any of the critic stuff or not. Do you have any of this stuff on how they open the door first and then they have to reopen the door and they have to say, go back in there, and then Jeff Bezos falls. Poor guy's tripping. He's having a hard time.
There were hashtags ready to trend, designer spacesuits custom made for Instagram, and soft focus interview clips scheduled to roll out. But suddenly, late-night comedians couldn't resist. They all jumped on the same punchline. Neil Armstrong walked so influencers could take selfies in zero gravity.
Which one is this, Rob? Tell us.
This is the door being opened from the inside.
Watch this.
What's going to come out of
They're not supposed to open the door yet.
her
Look, they're like, close the door!
No,
not yet.
Jeff Bezos out there right by the capsule? Kind of hard to see. That is
I have to
correct.
pee.
That is Jeff Bezos, our founder.
He has to step up with the official doohickey.
TikTok users began slicing up Katy's tearful interviews and editing them into over-the-top soap opera finales. Still, Katy refused to back down. She launched into a full-on soul-searching video series, filled with slow-motion clips of her raising that symbolic daisy skyward, as if she alone could bring peace to the planet. If you're enjoying this wild ride so far, feel free to think about your favorite moment when a celebrity accidentally turned a situation into comedy gold. It's moments like these that keep social media fueled and running strong. Enter The Simpsons, a show that's been roasting celebrities without mercy for decades. Somewhere inside the show's writer's room, someone caught wind of Katy's space adventure and realized they had gold on their hands. Storyboard sketches leaked showing a cartoon version of Katy, barely 20 inches tall, awkwardly floating around in zero gravity, clutching her beloved Daisy as if it were the last rose on The Bachelor.
Flynn, I gotcha. Oh, the moon! You guys, I will have to tell you, look at the moon.
Doing a whole bunch of nothing.
For us watching her.
Look, I brought my little butterfly.
Lisa Simpson was shown frantically ticking off a list called Things That Actually Matter in Space. Even the most jaded Hollywood insiders agreed. The idea was pure comedic brilliance. However, when Katy's team found out, the mood in Malibu flipped from crystals and candle meditations to full-on DEFCON 1. Lawyers rushed to send Fox piles of angry emails, accusing the network of character assassination. Think about it for a second. Trying to sue The Simpsons, a show that has mocked everyone from sitting US presidents to the Pope, is basically like trying to outshout a megaphone with a whisper. The cease and desist letters hit Fox's inbox like a glitter bomb. But instead of backing down, the writers reportedly sharpened their pencils even more.
Worst part is when
there's people starving in other countries and we're clapping and cheering. Like, bro, this is wild. And then Katy Perry steps out, starts kissing the ground. Bro, the stories write themselves. Like, we are living in a Black Mirror episode. Like, what is this, bro?
After all, controversy means free publicity, and The Simpsons has survived for over 30 years by mastering the art of stirring the pot. Meanwhile, Katy's inner circle scrambled. Some advisors pleaded with her to laugh it off, maybe even turn the joke into a marketing win. They argued that a little self-deprecating humor could make her seem relatable, maybe even boost her streaming numbers. But others wanted full revenge. They proposed a slick documentary called Cosmic Bloom, complete with emotional violin music and never-before-seen footage of Katy allegedly praying atop the rocket before blastoff. Of course, there was an obvious problem. Nothing screams, "I'm totally cool and unbothered," like producing a tear-soaked documentary to prove you're not mad. Behind the scenes, even Jeff Bezos, owner of Blue Origin, reportedly had second thoughts about turning his pet project into a celebrity playground. At a private party, he allegedly joked that next time, he'd send Snoop Dogg instead. At least Snoop knows how to stay chill, he quipped.
Rob, what else you got? Because there's a bunch of them.
I have Gayle King claiming that it was sexist.
Go ahead and play this clip. Go ahead, Rob.
I don't like that people are calling it a ride. A ride, you never see a male astronaut who's going up in space and they said, oh, he took a ride. We actually duplicated the route that Alan Shepard did. That's why it's called, this particular capsule is called the New Shepard. We duplicated that route. No one said he took that ride. Yeah. It's always referred to as a flight or a journey. So I feel that that's a little disrespectful to what the mission was and what the work that Blue Origin does.
They went on a
space
mission.
technology
Fun.
Mission.
That offhand comment reportedly caused even more tension inside Blue Origin's corporate offices. What was supposed to be a feel-good, science-celebrating mission had now turned into a full-blown circus about billionaire vanity. News anchors soon joined the frenzy. Debates broke out on national TV about whether a $400 million rocket trip could ever be taken seriously again after becoming a backdrop for pop star dramatics. Investors who once smiled brightly for photo ops now grimaced as the mission's original goal, inspiring young minds about science and space, withered into a flashy Instagram story filled with flashbulbs and hashtags. Public opinion split faster than a cheap umbrella in a thunderstorm. Hardcore fans defended Katy, claiming her journey was a beautiful spiritual awakening that critics simply couldn't understand. Skeptics, on the other hand, rolled their eyes so hard you could practically hear it, arguing that it was tone deaf. To preach about cosmic unity after spending more on a quick trip than most people do on 4 years of college, memes flooded the internet.
I have no doubt that it was a cool experience. It was not historic or significant in any way, but it was still, I'm sure, cool. More than cool, it must have been profound and quite moving. It's a shame then that it was wasted on a woman with the wisdom and intellectual depth of a newborn poodle.
One showed Katy crash landing into a therapy session for real astronauts. Another featured Jeff Bezos face-palming in Mission Control. Another had Homer Simpson labeling her capsule Uber Space. Every new meme breathed fresh life into the air story Katy's team was desperately trying to bury under glitter and empowerment slogans. But perhaps the sweetest irony came when Katy's legal team went nuclear, trying to stop The Simpsons from airing the episode. That move only made things worse. As many wise old internet users pointed out, trying to silence The Simpsons is like trying to empty the ocean with a teaspoon. Every legal threat just added more fuel to the fire, ensuring that the upcoming episode would smash viewership records. Likely bigger than some of Katy's own concert broadcasts. Even veteran PR agents, speaking off the record, admitted that the smartest move would have been to say nothing. Instead, Katy's frantic attempts to control the narrative only painted her as more self-absorbed, a gift to every late-night host and meme account on the planet. Meanwhile, social media became a war zone. Fans clashed with critics. Some saw Katy as a brave soul unfairly mocked by cynical cartoon writers. Others thought she embodied everything wrong with fame in the Instagram age, more sparkle than substance. And a third group, the largest, just grabbed popcorn and watched the chaos unfold, marveling at how a simple trip to inspire people became the internet's favorite mess. Sensing that her public image was sliding fast, Katy tried a softer approach. She floated apologies during daytime talk shows, saying things like, "I have deep respect for real astronauts," but even those statements sounded more like brand damage control than genuine regret. As one snarky commentator joked, "When your Cosmic Awakening t-shirt drops the same day as your apology video, maybe the universe is sending you a message." Behind closed doors, The Simpsons writers polished their jokes to razor-sharp perfection. Rumor has it one scene shows cartoon Katy holding a press conference in space, only to realize she's talking into a floating barf bag. Another joke has Bart calling her the first verified hashtaganaut, with Lisa giving a detailed lecture about real scientific milestones. When clips of the episode leaked early, the hashtag The Simpsonaut trended before breakfast. Katy's lawyers scrambled yet again, trying to contain the damage on a ship that was already sinking fast. Each new legal move only made the situation worse, answering the question, how bad can it get? With a resounding, hold my freeze-dried latte. With things spinning out of control, Katy's team staged an emergency meeting. The calmer advisors suggested a cheeky TikTok duet with Homer Simpson, or maybe donating a piece of her rocket memorabilia to a STEM charity to regain some goodwill. The hardliners pushed for a scorched earth lawsuit that would make sure no one ever dared to mock her again. Caught between trying to look like a good sport and trying to defend her honor, Katy wavered. Each step she took only produced fresh headlines and even more memes. Meanwhile, podcasts exploded with commentary. Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon, and other big voices roasted the situation so thoroughly that YouTube's automatic captioning nearly short-circuited. Rogan famously said, "You spent 11 minutes in the sky and came back preaching cosmic enlightenment. I drive longer than that for a coffee." The crowd roared. Clips went viral. And the phrase rocket ride guru stuck to Katy's reputation like gum to a sneaker. In the end, Katy's quick trip to the edge of space might have aimed to inspire millions. Instead, it became a perfect example of how even the best intentions can get swallowed by the internet, and how trying to control the joke only makes it funnier,